Is that exactly true?
No, we got what we wanted today.
Right.
We got Raj Shah, the White House Principal Deputy Press Secretary. We asked him to come on our show, and he accepted our invitation. Great to see you. Thank you so much.
Good morning, guys. Great to be with you.
We wanted to ask you first, out of the gate, what's the president doing today? We know he's heading to Ohio. Going to be talking about infrastructure?
That's right. The president is going to be talking about the infrastructure plan that we want Congress to pass. There was a report out of the White House earlier this week. His plan would create between 200,000 and 400,000 jobs. It would rebuild our roads, our bridges, our infrastructure around this country. You know, most bridges in this country were built before, at least over 50 years, built before, we had people landing on the moon. And so we really need to rebuild our infrastructure. It's going to create jobs, and the president's going to be talking about it in Ohio today.
Raj, one of the criticisms is too much dependence on the states and not the federal government. Is it an 80-20 split?
What he's outlined is a program in which states and local governments, as well as private sector folks, would be involved in paying for a big chunk of the program. The reason we want that is that we want local officials making decisions. We want local governments, state governments with some skin in the game. When you have that, they're going to make better decisions about what needs to be funded in their states and their local communities to end congestion, traffic, to ensure that they rebuild the right highways, arteries in their various local communities.
Well, I'd rather have a local state senator making that call than a senator from another state. I take your point on that.
But just where is the money coming?
The funding does become a challenge for sure.
Raj, funding can become a challenge, but one thing that is very important is that when federal dollars pour into local communities, they don't make as wise spending decisions. When it's their own money, their own tax dollars, they have to be accountable for it. They make smarter decisions and they spend their money more wisely.
Let's hope so. We'll be following the president today. We're also following the president's Twitter account this morning. He's a new tweet out this morning at a familiar target, Amazon. He tweeted this saying, "I have stated my concerns with Amazon long before the election. Unlike others, they pay little or no taxes to state and local governments, use our postal system as their delivery boy, in parentheses, causing tremendous loss to the U.S., and are putting many thousands of retailers out of business." If we're talking about local funding, this is another source of local funding that could be missed right now. Talk about the president's focus on Amazon.
Right. Well, the president has talked about the need to have tax parity between online retailers and brick and mortar retailers in your stores all around the country and in local communities. Right now, there is no internet sales tax, and as a result, companies like Amazon can buy and sell goods without having to pay basic retail taxes that your stores and your convenience stores and all the folks around, when you walk out of the studio over there and grab something, you have to pay, and that puts brick and mortar retail stores at a disadvantage. It's been there for years. Amazon, is really competing against, in many ways, mom and pop shops, and has this advantage. The president has talked about it for years. There are a number of proposals that have worked their ways through the House and the Senate, or have been considered in the House and the Senate. He'd be supportive of such efforts. We're not laying out specific policies, but the president was talking about something that's been in the news. A lot of people have made this with respect to Amazon about personalities and the CEO at Amazon, we're talking about Jeff Bezos here. But this is really about policy. You have a huge company that's done amazing things in Amazon spring up in a very short amount of time, and really tax policy and other policy has to catch up to that, so that way those who are competing with Amazon are on a level playing field.
The Trump team is changing again. Secretary Shulkin is out. Ronnie Jackson is in. We do have some, Pete, you do have some fake news that you do want to report, right? So we're going to look forward. Ronnie Jackson might have a harder time getting confirmation because people like him. He just doesn't have the experience. But for you personally, they wrote about you today, and you know this is wrong.
Well, I mean, you guys deal with fake news every day. Maggie Haberman at the New York Times tweeting that I was never even wanted to be under consideration. That point is not about me. The point is there's so much misinformation. Clarify, though, why the pick of Ronnie Jackson and what you hope he'll do at you hope he'll do at the VA.
Well, we think that Dr. Jackson is going to make a tremendous Secretary of Veterans Affairs. This is a man who, as a doctor, understands medicine. As an active duty member, understands the military. He understands what veterans need in the 21st century. in terms of modernizing care, giving them choices and options, and making sure things like wait lines and the bureaucracy of the VA is no longer preventing veterans from getting the care that they've earned, that they deserve, and that they need. And, you know, we've had kind of bureaucrats or individuals who understand, you know, kind of have the experience and the resume of you know, hospital organizations or in the case of the Obama administration, General Eric Shinseki kind of run the VA, and they haven't fixed the problems. They haven't significantly reduced wait times. Under the president's leadership, we have begun to reduce wait times. We've begun to take a lot of the things that provide transparency and put them online for veterans to be able to make more informed choices about their health care. We want to continue that process and ensure that veterans who have served this country, who've been honorable in their service, are given the health care that they've earned and that they deserve, and that we leave no veterans behind.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Raj. We appreciate it.
Raj, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thanks so much for having me on.
You're welcome. All right, let's hand it over to Jillian, who has some more headlines for us.
That's
Good morning.
right. Good morning to you.